So, another funny thing too about the situation is this the bullying. Obviously, his air quotes hoe live is clearly a sore spot for him, man. And so, one thing I need to ask is obviously growing up with a big mama like Kate, who may or may not like to cook or whatever, or maybe she just gets a bunch of TV dinners or something, I don't know. But one thing you look at, like developments of relationships, sometimes maybe, like say Olivia's like, we're gonna break this bad spell you have on something, and then he gets him to do something, builds his confidence, and it develops a romance maybe. So say Kate, fixes the dude spaghetti. Let's just say it's his senior year of high school before he goes to, obviously UMD, and she fixes him, spaghetti. She just buys some frozen Sim-Mix meatballs, store-bought pasta sauce, and some, spaghetti noodles. She makes some spaghetti. But unfortunately, one of her, press-on pink nails falls into the spaghetti dish, and she obviously plates the noodles, dries them so the sauce isn't too runny, puts the sauce and the meatballs on there, but the press-on nails are, one of them's in there. Mix it with the sauce and the meatballs and the noodles and everything. So the dude's, sitting there waiting for his, grub. And she puts it there and says, "Bon appetit, buddy." He's like, "Thanks, Mom," he says. And he gets in there and he eats it. And he bites, and 2 bites are good. "This is good spaghetti, thanks, Mom." And then he bites into the 3rd bite. He gets the press-on nail and it cuts his upper mouth, and he spits it out, and he's like, "Oh, gross, oh my God," and he knocks the plate off the counter, just because obviously how shitty and gross the situation is, and he runs to his room and locks the door, and Kate's like, "Damn, he a pussy bitch," obviously referencing him running back versus saying, "You know what, Mom, you're a gross skank who always messes up my food with her gross personality stuff." That's a very passive thing to, just do that and then run to your room like that. But he swore off spaghetti. But then him and Olivia started talking, and obviously Olivia's like, well, everyone says you don't eat spaghetti, and whenever anyone suggests you get pasta, or specifically spaghetti pasta, you get weird about it. You don't want it, and it's kind of unusual. And he's like, "Well, I'm a weird dude, but there is a story behind it. I don't want to get into it." She takes his hand and says, "Why don't you tell me about it?" And that kind of gets him a little bit interested. So he talks about his mom being kind of an ex-obese, sex industry working whore. But before he went to college, she made him spaghetti, the press-on nail. And Olivia's like, "You know what? The Superior Dining Center has spaghetti and meatballs today. Let's go down there together and let's get some. We're gonna break this." And he's like, "No, I'm okay. I don't want any." But she finally, convinces him through rubbing pleasure and stuff to go, "Hey, let's go get some spaghetti." So they go there and she gets him to, dollop those noodles, the sauce, the meatballs on there. And much to the dude's surprise, it's really good. There's no press-on nail, there's no nothing in there, there's no issues, no fake dyed mama hair, just good old spaghetti and meatballs. He eats the whole plate and he goes and gets a second. He's happy. And that's how I guess the romance started, man.